Namaskar. Honorable Chairman, distinguished colleagues on the dais, colleagues of the dais, hosts, ladies and gentlemen, and dear students. Thank you. I consider is an honor to be invited to this conference. But then when I was asked to speak about the conference, I was a little embarrassed. The reason is very simple. I prefer to be an insider rather than an outsider. I'm a part of this university. Half of my life, or more than half of my life, is spent on this campus. So therefore, ideally, I should have been the host rather than a guest. Anyway, thank you, Dr. Sharma, for choosing me and talk about the conference. I'll not take much time. I feel that this conference is a unique of its kind because as academics, we used to have conferences on this campus in our department, almost on a regular basis. Colleagues know about it, students know about it. At least one major conference, international conference, every year, and besides, smaller conferences or workshops at different points of time. But this is different in the sense that when I look at the coverage, I find that everything under the sun on tribal policies, tribal research and innovations have been discussed. This is a thematic spread of the conference. About the participation spread, I find people from all over this country, from different corners of this country. I don't imagine that we have ever organized a conference like this in the past. Another speciality of this conference, as Honorable Mr. Reddy has pointed out, that this is a wonderful blend of academics, administrators, policymakers, and probably the most beneficiaries are our students. This had never happened. We used to talk among ourselves, we debate, whether we come to any conclusion or not, but then we keep on talking as academics, and at the end of the day, we prepare recommendations, whether somebody uses or not, but then we prepare some recommendations at the end of the conference. But here I find the young administrators, very enthusiastic, willing to work, know about the tribal culture. This is probably something different we were missing in earlier conferences. Of course, there are differences of opinions. One of our students, a young police officer, had his own vision of situation in Bastar. This is a part of academics. We took it in the right spirit that it is somebody's perception about the situation. Doesn't matter. But then that enlightened a lot of us academics when he said, you people are romanticizing the tribal culture and tribal life. This was a learning experience for me, and I'm sure all the participants of this conference will agree to this, that this was a learning experience for all of us. We learned so much out of this conference. There is another speciality of this conference is about parallel sessions. Normally, we used to have very handful of people, and the reason is funding. Depends on how much money you get. So therefore, we used to invite very selected people, used to have very brainstorming sessions, but here I find that for the first time perhaps, or maybe very rarely, I don't remember if we have organized parallel sessions. Maybe in a couple of seminars we might have done it, but then all through 2 days, parallel sessions on different themes, covering entire aspect of tribal research, tribal policies, and also innovations. So therefore, in more than one respects, this conference I find is unique. This is now the time for me to thank the hosts, the government of Andhra Pradesh, CIPS, and the Department of Anthropology putting their hands together and then organizing this conference in such an organized way. More than anything else, I would like to thank the young volunteers from CIPS, from the Department of Anthropology, and outside the Department of Anthropology of the University of Hyderabad, those who have contributed immensely for the smooth organization of the conference. Of course, I know for sure Anthropology Department, right from its inception, is a smaller one with very few faculty, but then I find all of them putting their might together for the success of this conference. As a participant, I thank profusely to all the hosts, the Government of Andhra Pradesh, CIPS, and the University of Hyderabad for making this conference a huge success. A conference, an academic conference, should be also associated with its non-academic components. For example, the cultural evening, the food that was served to us on time, the quality of the food, and then people, those who are living in the guest houses, their comfort. All these things put together, I find the non-academic side of the conference is also a huge success. On behalf of all the participants, I would like to thank all the hosts for organizing these wonderful conferences. Thank you, sir.